Hello there, everybody. So we're going to take a look at getting Sancho to fight back. So we spent the chapter getting the spider, doing stuff, and attacking Sancho, and then we spent the last part of the chapter setting up a health system so that Sancho slowly gets hurt and the spider kills him. Well, now we want to let Sancho possibly fight back. Maybe not very effectively, but we want him to fight back. So to begin with, we're going to remember our spider. We had a jaw collider that we put on him. So we're going to have to figure out where we want to put some colliders here. So if I open up Sancho and go to his root and go to his spine, his spine, his spine, his right shoulder, his right elbow, his right whatever that is, and then his right hand, that is probably a good spot for a punch, for something to be punching from. Now I'm going to go to my spider here and let's look at our spider. And it looks like I've got him set to do his random movement, so let's turn that off. And then I want to do one other thing here. So I'll go into my spider, my box 1, my jaw collider. I'm going to go ahead and disable that because I don't want to deal with the spider biting us and killing us while we're practicing here, while we're trying to get Sancho working. So if we scroll down and we grab the hand, you can see that that is definitely moving with him. So yeah, that is definitely what we're going to want. So that is where we're going to put something. So let's go ahead and you know what? Let's just copy what we've got up here. I'm going to grab my jaw collider, do a Control D, and then I'm going to drag it down and connect it to the hand, right? And I think I'll change its name. I'm going to call this Hand Collider. And detect when Sancho has made a successful attack. Notice I got my collision detection as well. Everything came over when I copied this, so I've got all of that stuff, so that's kind of nice. Okay, so we've got our capsule collider, mesh renderer, of course it's way over here. So let's hit our gear up here in our transform and let's do a reset. And that brought it all right over here to where our hand, where our parent object is, and there it is. Okay, so let's get this sized up a little bit better. So I'm going to go to my scaling tool. And you know what, I'm just going to type in here. I'm going to go with like 0.3, 0.3, 0.3. And that fairly closely fits him. And then maybe rotate a little bit, and then rotate a little bit. And yeah, nice. And let's punch this out just a little bit. Okay, that looks pretty cool. So we can test this. We can go ahead and play. And we've got this collider that's working, and he just killed himself. Now you might say, well, why did he just kill himself? Well, that's where we go in and we've got this collision detection. Let's go ahead and hit edit on that, and let's take a look at what's going on here. So whenever it collides with a player, we're going to tell that player thing that, hey, you got hurt. This is the same system that we built in the chapter. So instead of colliding with player, let's collide with enemy. Now if you don't have an enemy tag, just go to add tag and throw it in there. So there's my enemy. Let's see, I don't like that hit player event, so I'm going to come over here to events and I'm going to create a new event, and I'm going to call this hit enemy. Now I'm not changing the name of this one because if I do, it's going to cascade the name change to all other ones that have this same event. So I don't want to do that. So instead I'll just do hit enemy. Come back over here, right click where it says hit player, do transition, change that to hit enemy, and then I'll just delete hit player out of this particular one. Let's go into our idle and make sure we're sending a hit enemy state right there, or a transition, I'm sorry. And then we're going to go to whatever we hit, which should be our enemy. We're going to grab its health state machine, grab its got hit variable, and send it or tell its got hit variable that true, you got hit. And then we're going to go to that same target, same health machine, find a variable called damage, and Sancho is stronger than the spider, so he's going to cause negative 15 points of damage. Okay, so our collision system is set up and ready to go, at least on this side of things. So let's scroll up here and take a look at our spider. And our spider, first of all, needs to be tagged as an enemy, like so. Alright, next up, let's see, what do we have? What do we have going on so far? Let's see here. I'm going to wait for that spider to come get me. Come on, spider. Okay, here it comes. Alright, let's change my view here just a little bit, because we might have a problem here. Notice he's punching up above the collision box here, so he's like not hitting our spider. Alright, so we're going to have to move our spider's collision box around. So in our spider, our box collider right here, let's start by, let's zoom in on our spider. Let's go ahead and move this up. What do you think? Maybe like 0.5? Okay, and now what do we have? So that put that up. And look, this isn't coming out all the way to cover his side. So let's see, that's Z. Yeah, let's I don't know, let's do like 1.5, 1.6, something like that. Okay, now let's see what we've got. So we'll go ahead and zoom back in on Sancho. Rotate like so. And you know what? To save some time on testing here, I'm just going to go ahead and, come on, spider, get close and friendly. There we go. So that way I can kind of stay zoomed in on one specific angle here. There we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and play this, and let's see what we've got going on here. Looks good. Looks like we're swinging through. Sure looks like we're swinging through, but it doesn't seem to be, doing anything. Let's see. Let's check Sancho down here. Well, actually, let's come down here to our hand collider. I'll pull this on over here. Yeah, it's not detecting a collision. I wonder what's going on. Okay, here's what's going on. In order for collisions to be detected, we need to have the physics system enabled within Unity. Now, for our Sancho guy, he kind of gets that through his character controller system, right? So that's kind of where he gets some of this, and through character motor, and so he's getting some of the physics system going on through right there already. So what we're going to have to do for our spider is go ahead and give it a physics and tell it, hey, yeah, you can do physics stuff. So I'm going to go to add component, physics, and I'm going to need this rigid body right here. Now these constraints down here, if I freeze these, it's going to stop things. It's going to stop the physics system from causing my object to move. I don't want my object to move, when they collide and bounce around and stuff. I just want it to be able to detect a collision. So let's see what we've got this time. Aha, we crashed. Now you might look at that and say, well, darn, that didn't work. Well, no, hold on. We weren't getting this before. And what happened is we detected a collision and we died right here. Cool. We're making progress. So let's stop it. And now what we need to do, so we're going over here to hit, and that whole thing is it's saying, hey, this thing, this health that's supposed to be on this target, yeah, it doesn't have one. I mean, it's got a health, but it doesn't have a got hit thingy. And we can see that directly if we come up here to our spider. It has a rudimentary health thing in place, and this is what it is. Not much going on there. Alright, so let's go to Sancho, and let's find his health. Sure, we could recreate it, but one of the big things about object-oriented stuff is reusability. So I'm going to hit this gear. I'm going to do a copy component. I'm going to go back to my spider, and in its health, where is it? There it is. I'm going to do a paste component values. Okay, this isn't Sancho's health system now. Now this is the spider's health system. And let's, oops, I clicked the wrong edit. And bang, look at what we've got. We've got the health system, right? So let's take a look, see if there's anything we're worried about here. So we come in, we initialize, we're going to set our health, our spider's health, to his maximum health. Let's see, his maximum health is 20. Poor spider. Oh well. I guess it just kind of sucks to be a spider. Whatever. We're going to set this isAlive variable to true, and we're going to set this tag to not player to enemy. And this is just in case it got forgotten somewhere. Then we're going to go down to our living, and we're going to stay in this living until this got hit becomes true. And if it becomes true, we're going to go over there. Now notice, that was one of the errors that we got down here. So it was one of the errors that we got down there. So we hit, we come over here to hurt. We're going to take our current health, we're going to add our damage. Remember, a couple minutes ago I said Sancho is stronger than the spider, so I set the damage to minus 15. That's what gets sent here. Then we're going to play an animation. I bet we don't have one called self-hit. Let's see, do we have one called hurt? No, how about taunt? So we're going to play the taunt. When we're done with that, we're going to come down to our health check. If our health is less than or equal to 0, we died. Okay, so we died. We're going to do set our tag to dead. We're going to play a death animation. Set bool is alive. Okay, yeah. And now we're going to turn off all of our stuff. So I'm going to turn off attacking. I'm going to turn off controller. And that should be the only ones that are on. Pursue and those should not be on because we're fighting. So I'm going to even disable that one. Okay, otherwise, if our health was above 0, we kept going where we reset and we put that got hit boolean back to true. So let's see what we've got this time. There we are. Let's swing. Oh, we hit him. He did his little taunt thing. Let's swing again. Ugh, he died. Okay, so hey, there's our basics. Now, there were some key concepts that we just covered here. One was we needed the rigid body for our collision to work. So I had to add the rigid body and I froze all of this stuff. The other thing that was really nice was being able to copy straight from one place to another. So I could just do a copy component, and that allowed me to just copy this health from Sancho over to the spider as opposed to having to recreate the whole thing. Very nice little capability there. So we've got his punch working. Let me add a couple more things to this, get it a little bit better tweaked here. So in his hand collider, I'm going to go ahead and turn off his mesh renderer. I'm also going to turn off the hand collider. Okay, now let's jump in Sancho. Let's go over here to Sancho and let's find his actions. Right here they are. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and create a variable. I'm going to call this hand collider, and this variable is going to be a game object variable. Now I'm going to go back to my state, my box right here where I punch. I'm going to action browser. I'm going to do an activate game object. Put that up here at the top. And the game object I want to activate, I'm going to specify, is going to be what happened to my variable? That was weird. Hand collider. I must not have hit enter. And then let's add it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and make it inspector so I can change it later if I want. But while I'm here, I'm going to give it a default value of the hand collider and drag it in there. There we go. Come back over here to my state. I want the hand collider. I'm going to turn it on. And then when we leave, I'm going to turn it back off. Okay, so now, so I can't like accidentally hurt the spider. Oops. Oh well. But when I punch, notice, see the Playmaker script come up on there? I hurt the spider that time and now he's dead. So that allows me to turn the punching on and off. Now if we think about this, we probably want to do the same thing to our system over here. So I'm going to grab my spider and let's go into his spider attacking. Go to my edit there and I'm going to go to variables over here and let's create a jaw collider. Jaw collider, let's call this a game object as well. We'll add that. I'll make it an inspector as well and drag my jaw collider right into there so it's got a default value. And then whenever we attack, I'm going to do an action browser. I'm going to activate this item. I'll bring it all the way up here at the top, like so. The item I want to activate, I'm going to specify. It's going to be my jaw collider turn it on, and then turn it back off when we go down there for our cool down. So now they can stand there and they can kind of duke it out. Nope, he hurt me. See, it went away. Wait, I want to punch you. Oh, you killed me. Darn you. My health's are way too low. This is not cool. I'm going to punch you. I want to punch you. I punched you. Oh, crud. You killed me. They need more health. So anyway, there's our basic combat system. So I'm going to leave the belly bonk part of it up to you, as well as the Sanson part of the chapter exercises. But this should get you up and going. The main hurdle you may have run into really was that rigid body. That was probably the main problem. Other than that, probably just manually recreating things, but this ability to copy back and forth is just really nice and really powerful. So any questions, comments, thoughts, whatever, just throw them down below, and looking forward to hearing from you guys. Other than that, have a good day. Bye-bye.